This is Amara. At just 12, she had already endured more hardship than most people face in a lifetime. Born and raised on the streets by her mentally ill mother, she had no father, no home, and no one to fight for her future. School was a fleeting dream, just 2 years, before the woman paying her fees vanished, leaving her completely alone. Hopeless, invisible, yet brilliant beyond her years. Until one day, everything changed. She met Leyla, the daughter of a billionaire struggling in the finest school money could buy. And it was Amara, the barefoot girl from the gutter, who became her secret teacher. But when Leyla's powerful father discovered a homeless child teaching his daughter under a mango tree, what he did next will leave you speechless. Stay tuned. This is a story that will stay with you long after the screen goes dark.
A raw slap of spit landed just inches from Amara's bare feet. She didn't flinch. She had grown used to insults. The market woman's voice cut through the humid air of Okota village. "Is this a rubbish ground? You and that mad woman better move before I pour water on you." Amara tightened her grip on her mother, Ifeinwa, who sat barefoot beside the gutter, mumbling to herself and tracing patterns in the dust with a trembling finger. Her wrapper had slipped, revealing scars and dirt, but she didn't notice. Ifeinwa was lost in her own world, a place only she could see. People walked past, some slowed, some stared. One woman paused, shook her head and walked on. No one helped. No one ever did. Amara was 12, but the streets had aged her soul. She no longer cried when called names, daughter of a mad woman, gutter girl, cursed child. She had heard them all. Worse than the insults was the pity, the hollow shake of a head with no helping hand. Her mother had once been beautiful, or so she imagined. On rare lucid days, Ifeinwa sang old lullabies and called her princess. But those moments were fleeting, like shooting stars. Most days, Ifeinwa screamed at puddles, threw stones at shadows, or ran from invisible monsters. Amara had no father, not even a name or a photo. "Who's my daddy?" she asked once years ago. Ifeinwa looked at her with hollow eyes. "I don't know. Maybe the rain." That ended the conversation. They slept under a broken kiosk near Abule Egba Road. Rain soaked them, heat burned them. Their mattress was a flattened carton. Their blanket was silence. Amara didn't know what it meant to dream anymore. Survival was the only language she spoke. Every morning began the same. Ifeinwa woke screaming, clawing at the air. Amara held her close. "It's me, Mommy, it's me." Then she cleaned her with a rag and gutter water, leaving her back to their begging spot. Occasionally, people dropped coins, mostly insults. "Mommy, don't talk today," Amara whispered, tucking her mother's wrapper tighter. "Just sit, just be quiet." But Ifeinwa suddenly stood and shouted at a passing car, "Give me my wings! I left them in your boot." The driver honked and swerved. Amara's cheeks burned. Across the street, a neatly dressed girl with a lunchbox watched. Their eyes met briefly before the girl whispered to her friend and laughed. Amara looked at her dusty legs, chipped toenails, dry hands and empty stomach, but ignored it. Hunger was constant. Still, beneath it all, she dreamed. She dreamed of classrooms, uniforms, neat notebooks, and being called by name without scorn. But who would care for the daughter of a mad woman? Who would send her to school? Nobody. And yet Amara hoped. She watched children pass with their backpacks and braids, whispering, one day I will sit in a real classroom. One day I will escape this cursed corner of Okota. One day my mother will smile and know my name." That afternoon, crouched beside her mother near Oshodi Market, her stomach tied in knots, she noticed a woman watching from across the road. Behind a steaming food stand with plastic chairs, a wooden table and coolers, the woman's gaze was in pity. Amara looked away, embarrassed. She hated being watched like an animal in the zoo. Minutes later, the woman crossed the road. "What's your name?" she asked gently. Amara stared at her bare feet. "Amara. And my mother," she whispered, pointing to Ifeinwa, singing to an empty bottle. "She's sick, isn't she?" the woman asked. Amara nodded. "What did you eat today?" Amara said nothing. The woman held out the covered plate. "Here, eat." Strangers never gave food without expecting something. "Don't worry," the woman smiled. "I'm not like the others." That was the first time Amara met Auntie Lara. The rice was hot, the meat soft. Amara hadn't eaten meat in months. That evening, Auntie Lara returned with bottled water and soap. "What's your story, child?" she asked. Amara told her everything: the madness, the streets, the glimpses of school, the hunger, the hope, the dreams. Her voice cracked, but she didn't cry. "Tomorrow, come to my shop. Help me clean. I'll feed you." Amara nodded eagerly. The next day, she swept, washed plates, served customers, and watched Auntie Lara work with quiet authority. One afternoon, under the counter, she wrote numbers in the sand with a stick. "Where did you learn that?" Auntie Lara asked. "From watching the school near the express road," Amara said. "I memorized what the teacher said." A week later, she entered a dusty classroom wearing a second-hand uniform Auntie Lara had bought. "Behave yourself," Auntie Lara warned. "Make me proud. I don't have money to waste." The first day was strange. Children giggled. But when Amara answered a question before anyone else, everything changed. She was brilliant. The headmistress asked, "Who trained her?" Amara said, "Auntie Lara." Evenings, she returned to the food stand. Her real reward was Auntie Lara's nod of approval. For the first time, Amara felt seen. Then life shifted. Auntie Lara announced she was leaving the country. "I've done all I can," she said. Amara stared, silent, swallowing her tears. 3 weeks later, Auntie Lara was gone. No one came to pay the next term's fees. Amara waited outside the school gate for hours, clutching her bag, but the bend in the street where Auntie Lara had promised to return remained empty. Her uniform grew dusty, flies buzzed near her ears, children laughed and ran past. No one came. Eventually, the gateman guided her away. But she didn't go home. The kiosk was occupied, the corner by the bakery claimed by other street children. Only Ifeinwa remained, mad, barefoot, talking to invisible demons. That night, she found her mother trying to feed a dead pigeon with rain-soaked gari. "Mommy, let's go somewhere safe," she whispered. Her mother hissed and slapped her. Amara wiped the blood from her lip and curled beside her anyway. They spent the night on the pavement, mosquito bites and all. The next morning, she wore her school uniform again, tied her books in a black nylon bag, and returned to the school gates. Maybe someone would help. The headmistress passed, frowned, and said, "No fees, no school." Amara nodded silently. Days turned into weeks. She tried returning to the food stand. It had a new owner. Auntie Lara was gone for good. The new woman chased her off. She sold her last pair of decent sandals for 300 naira and used it to buy bread and gari. Her uniform had faded to grey. Her notebook had gotten wet in the rain one night, and the ink ran until all her notes became unreadable. People stopped seeing her as that brilliant girl. She was just another street child, another shadow on the roadside. One evening, trying to find somewhere dry to sleep, she saw a boy no older than 9 light a match and smoke something wrapped in paper. He looked at her and said, "Come join us. If he makes you forget, say you are hungry." Amara shook her head and walked away. Her hunger roared, but the fear of becoming like those boys roared louder. She still had one treasure left, her mind. Somehow, she still believed that one day, just one day, it would all change. She couldn't help herself. No matter how many times they chased her away, insulted her, or mocked her, Amara kept going back. Every morning, while other children tied their shoelaces and tucked in crisp white shirts, Amara would find her way to the back fence of Royal Heights Academy, a private school that looked like a palace from her side of the world. The walls were painted gold, the windows had polished glass, students wore blazers and sparkling shoes, their names stitched neatly onto their uniforms. She didn't belong there, not even close, but it didn't stop her.
There was one cracked window behind the classroom with a small ledge she could stand on. It was next to an old mango tree when no one ever looked. That was her secret place. From there, she could see everything: the chalkboard, the math problems, the teacher explaining vowels. Amara would mouth the answers quietly, clutching a broken pencil stub like it was sacred. Her notebook was long gone, so she wrote on scraps of paper scavenged from garbage bins, old flyers, tissue boxes, anything with a clean side. Each day she stayed until the bell rang, then vanished before anyone noticed. But one Monday, she wasn't fast enough. The teacher noticed a ragged girl with bright eyes peeking from behind the window. "Hey, who's that?" the teacher yelled. Amara froze. A student pointed and sneered. "Is that crazy girl again, the one that follows us?" Laughter erupted across the classroom. The teacher stormed to the back. "What do you want, Ona? Who sent you here?" Amara stammered. I want to learn. Please, just let me listen from outside." "Are you mad? This is not a public space." "No ma, I won't disturb anyone, I promise." "Go tell your mother to pay school fees first, if you even know who your mother is." Amara's lips parted, but no words came. The teacher grabbed a stick from the table and raised it. Amara turned and ran. She didn't feel the tears stinging her cheeks until she reached the next street.
As she limped away, Amara looked at the building. The bright walls, the desks, the blackboard, everything she longed for, yet couldn't touch. She sat under a tree and began writing multiplication tables in the dust with a stick. When the wind blew them away, she started again. That night, as her mother babbled beside her in sleep, Amara looked at the stars. "God," she whispered, "why give me this mind and lock the doors to school? Did you give me this brain just to suffer?" There was no answer, just distant traffic honks and the quiet sobbing of a child desperate for more than survival. The first time Amara carried a tray of water on her head, her neck nearly snapped from the weight. She was barefoot, the tray was rusted, the sachets were barely cold, but they were all she could get on credit from Mama Modoris's shop. "Don't break any. If one falls, you pay. If I see you sitting to rest, you pay," Mama Modoris had warned. Amara nodded. She was used to rules that hurt. She adjusted the tray and stepped into the sun. Lagos Road didn't care that she was 12. It didn't care about blistered feet or trembling shoulders. All it cared about was hustle. Grown women shoved her aside. Boys twice her size called her small mad girl and stole her customers. Bosses almost crushed her. Drivers yelled at her. But she kept moving. Every time she sold a sachet, she whispered under her breath, 5 naira closer to food. Her goal was simple: feed her mother. Nothing fancy, no dreams, just bread and gari. By midday, her legs shook, her lips cracked, her body begged for rest. She found a corner under a faded billboard and sat. She had sold 12 sachets. That was 120 naira. If she sold 10 more, she'd have enough for gari and okra. A man walked past, dropped 200 naira into her tray. "Go buy something, little one," he said. "Thank you, sir," she whispered. But the moment he turned the corner, a teenage boy snatched the money and ran. Amara screamed, gave chase, but he vanished into a zippo. She stopped, chest heaving, eyes burning. She sat by the gutter and sobbed. People passed. No one looked twice. That evening, she returned to the roadside where her mother sat, humming and clapping. "Mommy, I brought bread." Her mother looked confused. "Who are you?" "Your daughter, Mommy. I'm Amara." Her mother giggled. "My daughter is a star. She fell from the sky and drowned in a bottle of oil," she said. Amara held her gently, tore the bread into small pieces, feeding her slowly. She didn't eat, too tired. Later that night, Amara found a broken mirror by the kiosk they sometimes slept near. Her face was sunburnt, eyes swollen, lips bleeding from the heat. She looked nothing like the students she watched. Yet, when she whispered math questions to herself, she got the answers right. "When you divide 6 by 3, what do you get?" she asked quietly. 2, she smiled.
No matter how much the world tried to break her, her mind remained sharp, her fire still burned, and that was enough to keep going. The next day, she was back on the road, tray full, feet raw, heart steady. She was selling water, but in her heart, she was still chasing something bigger. One chance, one opportunity to prove that the daughter of a mad woman didn't have to die in the streets. Amara wasn't supposed to be there. Royal Heights Academy had tall, polished gates guarded by men in navy blue uniforms with radios clipped to their belts. Children arrived in air-conditioned SUVs, escorted by drivers with white gloves. The walls shimmered with fresh paint, and the glass windows reflected the sun like diamonds. It was a school for the rich, the elite. Definitely not for the barefoot daughter of a roadside madwoman. But Amara had seen it one too many times from afar. And today, something inside her said, "Go closer." She had no money, no plan, and no right, but she had eyes filled with longing. She crept around the side fence where bush and weeds grew wild. She found a small gap near a drainage pipe and slid in, brushing off thorns as she slipped through. Her heart pounded like a war drum. She expected to be caught immediately, but no one saw her. She walked past flower beds, hiding behind trees, ducking whenever she saw a teacher or student. Eventually, she found a quiet spot under a large mango tree near the backfield. From there, she could see one of the junior classrooms through a winding open window. She crouched very low, pulled out a pencil from her pocket, and began copying the words she had on a scrap of nylon. She was halfway through a difficult English passage when she heard a voice behind her. "You're the girl they always chase away, right?" Amara's heart stopped. She spun around. A girl about her age stood there, hair braided in neat cornrows, uniform spotless, name tag sparkling. Leyla Okoro. I didn't mean any harm," Amara stammered, backing away. Leyla tilted her head. "Why?" Amara blinked, confused. "Because I want to learn." Leyla stepped closer. "You don't go to school?" Amara said. "No, my mother, she's sick. We live on the streets." Leyla looked down at her polished black shoes. "People laugh at me too," she said quietly. "They say I'm dumb, that my dad paid the school to keep promoting me." Amara looked up, surprised. "You?" Leyla nodded. "I don't understand anything they teach in class. Everyone is always ahead, so I sit out here during lunch alone." A long silence passed. Then Leyla smiled. "Do you want to sit?" Amara hesitated. Leyla sat first and patted the ground beside her. Slowly, Amara lowered herself. Leyla opened her bag and pulled out a textbook. "Can you teach me this? I don't get it." Amara looked at the page, fractions. She studied it for a moment, then gently took the book. "Okay, so look, when you see 1/2 and 1/4, they don't have the same denominator." Leyla listened wide-eyed as Amara broke it down. Within minutes, Leyla was solving problems she has struggled with all term. "I understand. I finally get it," she gasped. Amara smiled shyly. "You're not dumb." Leyla grinned. "And you're not just smart, you're amazing." They sat under the mango tree for over an hour. When the bell rang, Leyla stood. "Will you come tomorrow?" Amara hesitated. "They will chase me. I don't belong here." Leyla narrowed her eyes. "Wait here." She ran off. A few minutes later, she returned with the school security man following closely. "This is my friend. She is firmly. Her name is Amara. She will be here tomorrow during lunch. Let her in." The man looked confused. "But she is not." "She is my friend, and my daddy owns this school. You have a problem with that?" The man blinked and said nothing. Leyla turned to Amara. "Same time tomorrow, okay?" Amara nodded slowly, still not believing what had just happened. As she left the school, she felt something new. Not fear, not shame, but hope. That night, as her mother hummed to a broken bottle and danced barefoot in the dark, Amara sat by the gutter and prayed. "God, I met someone today. She saw me. She didn't call me dirty or mad. She listened. Please let me see her again. Let this not be a dream." Then she slept with a smile, the first in a very, very long time. They met under the mango tree every single day. Same time, same spot. Amara came barefoot, in her torn brown gown, clutching a plastic bag with scraps of paper and a blunt pencil. Leyla came in her ironed uniform, with a lunchbox packed by the cook. Two girls from two different worlds, but when they sat under that tree, nothing else mattered. Their friendship grew like fire in the cold. Leyla laughed more now. She paid attention in class not because the teachers finally made sense, but because Amara did. "Don't read it like a robot," Amara would whisper. "Read it like you're talking to your best friend." She stumbled, tried again, and when she got it, Amara clapped with joy. "Good job," she said. "No one ever claps for me," Leyla once confessed. "But you're rich, don't people celebrate you?" Amara asked. "Only when I dress well, or when my dad hosts parties. Not when I get answers right, not when I trip." That day, Amara held her hand and said something she never thought she would. "You deserve more." Leyla didn't say anything. She just held Amara's hand tighter. One afternoon, as they shared spaghetti and plantain under the tree, Leyla asked, "Do you have a best friend?" "You," Amara replied without thinking. Leyla smiled. "Me too." Then her smile faded. "Amara, what if my dad finds out? What if he says we can't be friends?" Amara paused. "Then you forget me. That's how it works." "No," Leyla snapped. "He will be angry," Amara said softly. "Rich don't want their daughter sitting with girls like me. My mother begs on the road. Some people say she's cursed. They think I'm cursed too." Leyla was quiet, then leaned forward and whispered, "You're magic." Amara blinked, stunned. "Magic?" Leyla nodded firmly. "Who else can teach better than all my teachers? Who else can make me laugh when I feel like crying? Who else can make a place like this feel like home?" Amara's chest grew tight. Her eyes welled up, but she blinked fast to hold back tears. "Magic," Leyla whispered again. They started sharing more than food and textbooks. Leyla brought Amara a hairbrush, a small blue notepad, even a pair of slippers, though Amara rarely wore them, afraid someone would steal them. Amara in return
Told stories, real ones and made-up ones, about stars falling in love with street kids, about girls who found schools and dreams, and mothers healed by rain. Leyla listened like every word mattered. And it did. For the first time, Leyla didn't feel alone. And for the first time, Amara didn't feel invisible. But they kept it a secret. Leyla didn't tell her teachers, her classmates, or her father, Chief Okoro, one of the most feared and respected billionaires in Lagos. How do you tell a man who ran oil companies that your best friend was a street girl with no shoes? And so, under the mango tree, the two girls built a world of their own. A world where names didn't matter, where background didn't exist, where a billionaire's daughter and a mad woman's child could dream the same dream together. One day, Amara didn't show up. Leyla sat under the tree, checking her watch. 30 minutes, then an hour. Panic crept in. Had something happened? Had she fallen sick? Or worse, had someone chased her again? She stood, ready to run to the gate, when she heard a soft voice. "Leyla," it called. She turned. There was Amara, panting, barefoot, dirt on her legs, but smiling. "I'm sorry I'm late," she said. "My mom, she had an episode, ran into the road. I had to pull her away before she got hit." Leyla rushed forward and hugged her tightly. "I thought you weren't coming." Amara chuckled. "Even if I had to crawl, I would come." Leyla pulled back and looked her in the eye. "One day, I'll tell my dad, I promise." Amara swallowed hard. What if he says no? Leyla smiled with fire in her eyes. "Then I'll scream until he says yes." That night, under the dim light of a broken street lamp, Amara lay beside her mother, who hummed to herself, holding a stone like it was a baby. Amara stared at the sky. "God, I've never had a friend before. Please, don't let me lose this one." She reached into her pocket and pulled out the notepad Leyla gave her. On the first page was a drawing.
2 stick girls holding hands under a mango tree, one in uniform, one in rags, both smiling. Amara traced the drawing with her finger and smiled. Then she closed her eyes. For the first time in her life, she didn't fall asleep afraid. The morning started like any other. Leyla sat through her classes, distracted, waiting for the lunch bell. Her fingers tapped her desk restlessly, her heart beating faster than usual. The teachers praised her improved performance. She had answered 2 questions correctly in literature. Even the principal mentioned it during assembly. But Leyla didn't care. None of them knew the reason behind her change. It wasn't tutoring from an expensive private coach. It was Amara, the barefoot girl with a brilliant mind and a heart bigger than anyone she had ever known. At exactly 12:35 p.m., Leyla was already under the mango tree with 2 spoons, a lunchbox, and Amara's favorite biscuit tucked into the corner. Then she heard it, the low hum of black SUVs rolling into the compound. Students turned to look. Teachers froze mid-sentence. Even the security men adjusted their uniforms and saluted. Leyla's stomach dropped. "Daddy, why is he here?" Chief Okoro didn't visit the school without warning. His name alone carried weight. His presence filled every space before he even spoke. Leyla stood quickly, brushing crumbs from her skirt, unsure what to do. Then, before she could act, she heard Amara appear, breathless, smiling, barefoot as always. "I'm here. I had to fetch water before leaving." But Leyla wasn't smiling. Her eyes were locked on the figure stepping out of the SUV. Tall, dark-skinned, impeccably dressed in black leather sandals. Chief Okoro, her father. Amara followed her gaze, body stiffening. "Is that your dad?" Leyla nodded slowly. Amara's smile vanished. Panic crashed through her chest like a wave. "I have to go," she whispered, but it was too late. "Leyla!" The deep voice echoed across the lawn. She turned. There was Chief Okoro, walking forward, followed by 2 assistants. His eyes were sharp, calculating, confused. "What are you doing out here?" he asked. Leyla swallowed hard. "I was having lunch." "With who?" Chief Okoro glanced to his daughter's side and saw Amara, a girl in a torn gown, legs covered in dust, holding a worn-out nylon bag and a half-eaten biscuit. His brow furrowed. "Who is this?" Amara bowed her head, mouth open, but no words came out. Her entire body trembled. Leyla stepped in front of her. "This is Amara. She's my friend." "You what?" "She helps me. She teaches me." Chief Okoro blinked. "Excuse me?" Leyla took a breath, standing taller. "The reason I've been doing well in school is because of her. She teaches me during lunches every day, and I understand her better than any teacher here." A long, heavy silence followed. Chief Okoro's eyes remained fixed on the trembling girl behind his daughter. Then he asked quietly, "Who are your parents, child?" Amara barely looked up. Her voice was dry and cracked. "I don't know my father, sir. My mother, she's sick. She begs by the roadside near Mile 12. People call her mad. We have no home." One of the assistants shifted awkwardly. Chief Okoro's face remained unreadable. "You're not in school?" Amara shook her head. No one to pay fees. My only sponsor, she left the country 2 years ago." Leyla grabbed Amara's hand. Chief Okoro watched the gesture, his daughter holding this girl's hand like a lifeline, and for the first time he softened. "You've been coming here every day, teaching her in secret?" he asked. Leyla nodded. "I wanted to tell you, but I was scared." "Scared of me?" "Yes, scared you won't let me see her again," she whispered. Chief Okoro turned to Amara. She flinched. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said slowly. "Take me to your mother, please." Amara took a shaky step back. "Sir, please don't punish her. She doesn't know what I do here. She's not well. If I stop coming, I'll stay away. Just don't hurt her." "I won't," he said gently. "I just want to see her." Leyla looked at her father. "Promise you won't chase Amara away?" He stared at the 2 girls, 2 children from different worlds, but somehow they had found each other. "I promise," he said. 30 minutes later,
The convoy pulled into a dusty street near mile 12. Flies buzzed. The scent of burning trash hung in the air. Amara pointed. She's there. A woman sat on the sidewalk, barefoot, rocking back and forth, laughing at nothing. Her clothes were torn, her hair matted. That's my mommy, Amara whispered. Chief Okoro stepped down from the vehicle and walked towards the woman, crouching beside her. Madam, he said softly. The woman looked up. Did you bring this girl? Amara whispered, I left my wings in your car. Tears welled in Amara's eyes. I'm going to help her, Chief Okoro said quietly. I know people. She needs proper care. Please, Amara said. I don't want money. I just want her to be okay. He nodded, turning to his assistant to give orders. Get Dr. Aisha on the line. Psychiatric unit. Full treatment. No delays. Then he turned to Amara. And you? From today, you are not a homeless girl. Amara gasped. He knelt before her, placed a firm hand on her shoulder and looked her in the eye.
You have a father now. Amara didn't believe it at first, even as the car pulled away from the dirty streets that had been her entire world. She watched through the tinted glass while her mother was gently lifted into an ambulance, heading for the best psychiatric hospital in Lagos. Even when Leyla held her hand and whispered, "You are safe now," she still thought it was a dream. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She simply stared, trying to understand how a day that began in fear had ended with a billionaire calling her his daughter. By evening, Amara had taken her first proper bath in years. Leyla gave her fresh pajamas. Her hair was gently combed, and one of the house staff couldn't hide her surprise when Chief Okoro introduced her. This is Amara. She'll be staying with us from now on. Treat her with the same respect you give my daughter. The entire house froze. The girl from the street, living here? But Chief Okoro's tone left no room for questions. The next morning, Amara stood in front of the mirror in Leyla's room, wearing a borrowed Royal Heights Academy uniform. It was new, crisp, neatly ironed. She could hardly recognize herself. Leyla clapped with delight. "You look just like me." Amara smiled weakly. "I feel like I'm dreaming." "You are not. My daddy said it's real. He said you belong here." "But I'm the daughter of a mad woman," Amara said, voice trembling. Leyla shook her head. "No, you are the daughter of my father now." Amara turned slowly to the window, staring into the rising morning light. "I don't know how to thank him." Leyla smiled. "Then thank him the only way he truly cares about. Shine. Show the world what you can do." That day, the two girls walked into Royal Heights Academy together, matching uniforms, matching bags, matching smiles. Gasps followed them. Children whispered. Teachers blinked in confusion. Wasn't that the same street girl who used to hover behind windows and fences? Yes, but today she walked with the daughter of the school's founder. No more sneaking, no more peeping. She had come through the front gate as a student. In class, Amara raised her hand. Every question, every lesson, she wasn't just good, she was brilliant. By the end of the day, the teachers called a meeting with the principal. "Where did this girl come from?" one asked. "She's not just smart, she's exceptional," the principal said. "From the streets, apparently, but now she's family." Meanwhile, Chief Okoro kept his promise. Amara's mother was placed under expert psychiatric care at a private facility. Dr. Aisha assured him her condition, while critical, was treatable. "We will stabilize her. It will take time, but with love, medication, and structure, there's hope." Amara visited her mother weekly. The first few times, her mother didn't recognize her, shouting at walls or crying over invisible snakes. But on the 5th visit, she paused, looked up and whispered,
You look like the sky." Amara burst into tears. Weeks passed. She adjusted slowly to her new life. She still woke up gasping some nights, thinking she was back on the sidewalk. She still flinched when someone raised a hand too quickly. But gradually, her smile became freer, her laughter more frequent. She spoke during class, made new friends, but no one ever replaced Leyla. They were sisters now, not by blood, but by bond. They shared everything: stories, secrets, lunch, and dreams. Leyla's great soared. Her confidence bloomed, and everyone knew why. Because of the girl who used to sit under the mango tree. One Friday afternoon, Chief Okoro called Amara into his study. She stood nervously by the door. "I've been watching you. You've changed my daughter's life and mine." Amara lowered her gaze. "I didn't mean to. I just wanted to learn." He chuckled. "And now you will. As far as I'm concerned, you're my child. I'll do for you what I do for Leyla." He opened the drawer and handed her a brand new tablet, preloaded with all her school materials. Amara stared at it like it was gold. "Thank you, sir. Thank you for seeing me when nobody else did." He stood and placed a gentle hand on her head. "You are never invisible, Amara. You just needed someone to look close enough." That night, Amara sat in the garden under the mango tree, now neatly trimmed, surrounded by clean tiles and benches. She looked up at the stars. "My name is Amara, daughter of no one, friend of Leyla, student of Royal Heights Academy, and now," she smiled, "I have a father." She closed her eyes and whispered a final prayer. "God, I used to ask you to make my mother better, to send me to school, to give me just one friend. You gave me all three. I don't deserve it, but thank you." She placed her hand over her heart. "I promise I won't waste this chance." And so the girl the world once called the daughter of a mad woman became something far greater, a symbol of hope, a walking miracle, a living answer to her own desperate prayer. For Chief Okoro, for Leyla, and for everyone who ever believed that love and education can change a life, Amara was proof. The future had finally opened its doors, and she walked through them head held high. No child is born worthless. Every life holds potential. With kindness, opportunity, and education, even the most forgotten soul can rise. Amara's story reminds us that one act of compassion can break cycles of poverty and rejection. True greatness isn't measured by where you come from, but by what you do when someone finally sees you. Believe, uplift, and never judge a child by their circumstance. And now, she was once a barefoot girl peeking through a classroom window. The daughter of a mad woman rejected by society, forgotten by the world. But today she's no longer on the streets. She's back in school, this time in one of the best private schools in town, under the care of a powerful billionaire. While her mentally ill mother receives treatment in a top psychiatric hospital. But will her mother ever recover? Will Amara finish her education? Or will Chief Okoro, like Auntie Linda before him, disappear just when she needs him the most? Well, sit back, relax, and grab your popcorn. This story will leave you speechless. We hope you enjoyed this powerful story. So watch out for part 2. So make sure to subscribe to Sammie Tales and turn on the notification bell to be the first to watch where we upload. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and share it with your family and friends. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.